Jonathan Grail was mad. They'd hit a bank in his town. Harlan Pike, Wilson Lucas, William Pike, and Isaiah Ice McAdams, known collectively as the Pike Gang. Grail had once been partners in crime with these same desperados, but now all bets were off. The showdown was interrupted, however, by the Almighty, who sent the 5 of them sailing into the 20th century. And what a century it is. But these are special men from a special time and place. They dug in, tried to adapt, started a detection agency to put beans on the table, and in the process ran head-on into Deputy Maggie Randall. Things may be different this century, but there's plenty of work because one thing's bound to be true. The bad hombres will always outnumber the good.
Night on patrol, marching around here like a wild earp or something, and me with a cold bed and a case of the nerves like you wouldn't believe.
Well, I'm sorry, Elizabeth, my darling, but when Joe Conlon's boys come to take this town away from Timothy Jared Wade, they're not going to find him cuddled up with his nagging wife.
If and when they do come, just what is Timothy Jared Wade going to do to stop them?
I don't know precisely, but at least we'll let them know they've had a fight.
Well, put a fence around the town, then, and get some dogs.
Typical female idea, fence it in. But the fence, my darling Liz, will keep the tourists out at the same darn time.
Oh, yes, the tourists. Mobs of them. Everywhere I look, tourists. We're up to our eyeballs in tourists. The only problem is, they're all invisible.
Well, as soon as I get the Madrid Wild West Museum finished...
There won't be any Madrid Wild West Museum, and there won't be any tourists. It's all just a dream.
Well, of course it's just a dream, you silly woman. What the hell good's a man without a dream? No good at all, that's what. He's just a walking, talking piece of meat and bone without no spark of life in him. Well, I'm just going to keep on with my dreams, if you don't mind, Mrs. Wade.
Will you please climb down off that geriatric soapbox of yours and calm down, please? You're going to bust a vein.
Bust a vein, eh? Get over here, woman. Take a look up there, oh ye of little faith. I'm not all senile yet. 2 of those gunmen hired by Conlon to protect his property. A few 100 feet they'll be on our land. And then
I'll load and you'll fire, and together we'll blast them all to damnation. But I don't think they'll be attacking right away. So let's have some breakfast?
Good idea.
Uh-huh.
Keep us fortified. You know, for an old lady, you're still a pretty cute chick.
Oh, Tim, you devil.
So what is it about a one-horse ghost town that's got Grail so scared?
He just don't like being reminded, that's all, Bill.
Reminded of what? Every time I ask you boys about it, you clam up tighter than a banker's coin purse.
Well, Bill, I reckon we don't want to give you any ammunition you might be tempted to use later against Mr. Grail.
What kind of ammunition?
Now, what is it about this so-called job you don't like? I mean, you think about it, we have never made so much money in our lives.
Yeah, well, the Double Eagle Detective Agency was hired to patrol all this range. Well, now, Grail, he's spending every day up in Houston with the big bosses playing Mr. Highfalutin. It just seems to me that he ought to be giving us a hand.
John is doing what he thinks is best for the agency and for what it is we want to have happen around here.
A park.
Yeah.
A wildlife preserve.
Yes, a park.
Harlan, Billy, this is Ice.
We got you, Isaiah. What's up?
The same undesirables that were here before are here again. Unless I missed my guess, they've had too much to drink and trouble is just about a moment away.
You guys just hold your horses. We'll be right there. Now, I know how much you dislike this job, so why don't you just sit there and listen to that radio? Come on. Yeah.
Oh, for Pete's sake, come on.
Cowboy rent-a-cop.
They're doing a job, mister. Their job is to keep coyotes and troublemakers off the property of Joe Conlon. If I were you and I felt real lucky, I'd vamoose.
That means move it, mister. Before you lose the rest of your wheels.
I'm very grateful, Mr. Pike.
Well, now, it's our pleasure, ma'am.
Good to see you, Harlan. You all just got here in the nick of time, as they say.
Yeah, it would appear so. Been nice if you told us you were coming, though.
Didn't have the time. I had to get this survey team out here, and it all got kind of complicated.
Yeah, well, there will be plenty of time.
How about at dinner tonight? You can explain the whole thing.
Well, I can't do that either, because I've got to be back in Dallas for 6.
Please understand, there's just so much to do in Dallas, and so much that only John can do. For the company, for the park, for all of us. Don't blame John. It's my fault, really. My husband's been very ill, and he depends on John for everything.
Now, Harlan, boys, I know you're mad, and you're right. I mean, you got the rough end of the stick, camping out here and running off interlopers and such, and I've been in Dallas. Look, what am I talking about? It's for the good of the cause.
The park again.
Bill, it's in the time.
You know, if you were hiding out in them Dallas flesh pots, that I could understand. But how a body can get so worked up over a conservation park? Now that is just beyond this boy. Now, if you'll excuse me, Sheriff, I got some work to do.
Hellfire, John, we want this park thing to work as much as you do. I guess we just getting ornery because we ain't seen you in a month of Sundays. We miss that old ugly battle-scarred face of yours.
Well, I miss your pretty face too, Wilson. Listen, I'll be back with you all in a week, and my word's on it.
That's good enough for me. I'll help Billy.
What about Madrid? Now, the Conlon Industries need that ghost town. Remember that fancy Western hotel? Now, people are going to need a place to stay when they visit the park.
Yeah, someone has to go in there and convince those two old folks to sell. And that was to be your job, John.
I know how you feel about Madrid. Somebody's got to do it.
Isaiah, I don't have the time. Isaiah, you got to do this for me. Look, you just lay it out for them. Just try and be real polite. You know, make certain they know what a good price they're going to get. Harlan, you got to do it. Please.
All right. We'll do it.
John, we're gonna be late for the plane.
Right. Buena suerte, compadres.
Yeah, good luck to you too, partner.
What are you thinking?
I was thinking about power. There's an awful lot of power in your world, Elena. And I was thinking how easy it must be to let yourself get taken by the sweet taste of it all.
It is delicious at times, isn't it?
I'm real flattered, Helena, that your husband's a friend of mine.
He's a friend of mine, too. He'd totally understand.
I wouldn't.
You have principles.
You can say that. It is a hellacious burden at times.
Well, then, to your principles.
I wish you had taken the time to talk with the Wades. They and that town they own are the key to the entire project.
Now, Joe, I told you, Harland and Isaiah will handle it.
I wanted you to handle it, John.
Joe, we've been working hand in glove with you for over a month now. And I assure you that me and the boys will continue to do what we hired on to do. As far as Madrid, Texas is concerned, I'm going to be a mule. I won't budge, Joe. I'm sorry, but that's all there is to it.
I suppose I shouldn't complain. You've done more than your share reorganizing security.
You see?
Being a friend, besides. You and the others are going to be up for a sizable bonus when this is over, and that's a promise. And there's a very good chance that a certain John Grail will be offered a full partnership.
You would be trying to bribe me now, would you, Joseph?
What else are friends for? Listening at keyholes again, sweetheart?
It's going to be trouble.
I like him. We're the same, Grail and I. Worked our way up from the bottom, self-educated, hard-nosed. I even like those funny clothes he wears.
Well, if you are the same, then Grail doesn't know it yet.
Ah, I see. He turned you down too, did he?
We need Madrid, Texas, and we need it now. The banks will not approve those loans unless we have that property.
Grail's partners are handling it.
That's not enough.
Helena, I am still running this company, damn it, and I won't have... I loved you very much, Helena. Maybe too much. We're still gonna do it my way. Diplomacy first. Understood?
Now this used to be a rip-roaring town.
That is an apt description, Holland. You know, I recall a week-long poker game with old Harry Dawes and the Kyle brothers.
Yep.
Culminated in what the penny dreadfuls called a bloody gunfight.
One Isaiah McAdams laid up for a month with a hole in his chest the size of a Yankee silver dollar.
That's a fact. That is a fact.
It's the old man.
Well, let's not hurt his feelings. Good afternoon, sir.
Sir?
Boys from the Conlon outfit, aren't you? Sure you are. I seen you riding on his range. Am I right? Of course I'm right. Because a body gets into his 90s doesn't mean that his brain isn't right and true in his trigger finger. All right, what do you want? Throw me out, burn me down, put a bullet in my gizzard? Come on, out with it.
We just came to parley, sir, that's all.
That's correct, sir. Parley is all we're seeking.
Been a while since I met anyone who knew how to do things right and proper. All right. You give me your word that you're not here to do any mischief. You're welcome.
You got it.
You got our pledge on it, sir.
My name is Wade. Timothy Gerard Wade.
We know that, sir.
Did you also know that my pappy was Jed Wade? The Jed Wade? Gunfighter, sheriff of Madrid, shot down on this very street by the notorious and black-hearted Jonathan Grail?
Yes, sir, Mr. Wade. We know that also.
Well.
No, I don't want to talk to the lieutenant governor. I want to speak to the governor himself. Yes, that's right. Okay. Well, if that's what I have to do. Yes, you can count on it. Joe Conlon here. What? No, that's out of the question. Not a chance.
Ha! That's it, Joe. No more calls, no more business for at least 10 minutes. You'll excuse us, ma'am?
Jonathan, you are something else. You're always doing what I want to do.
We friends, Joe.
Sure, we're friends. You've done a great job, and I really appreciate it.
No. I mean, really friends.
Yes.
All right? All right, then.
What is this? What are you so worried about, John?
Me. It's this place, Joe. This seat of power. Ain't exactly my usual stomping ground, you know. To tell you the truth, I feel as uncomfortable as hell. I mean, we're sitting here stuffing ourselves like a pair of Chinese emperors, all air-conditioned, spanking clean. I got a bunch of partners out there in the heat and the dust, eating hardtack and beans, protecting your investment and my dream.
I understand. I felt it myself many times. It's natural, feeling guilty about being the boss.
I'm not the boss. They're my partners.
But you have the most experience. You're like a big brother. And you're here, and you feel guilty. But on the other hand...
On the other hand, that's the dangerous part. On the other hand, it feels so downright good, all this. New territories, new ways of doing things, and the wherewithal to do them. You know, sometimes, Joe, I sit here and I see you pick up that damn telephone and talk to the other side of the world, and boom, things start moving for you.
Now I understand why you wanted to know if I was your friend. Well, not to worry, Jonathan, I am your friend. Hell, you're the only one around here amongst all these stuffed shirts I can really talk to, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I suspect I do.
This seat of power, as you call it, can be strange territory. I know, I've been there. But very soon now, you're gonna feel just as comfortable here as you once felt out there.
Well, I reckon that is what we're talking about here is progress, Mr. and Mrs. Wade. Progress.
Exactly. What Mr. Pike's saying is exactly true. Everyone will benefit from this new land development, and you'll be paid quite well.
Right. We don't know the exact amount, but you can take our word for it that it'll be a fair price.
And it's for a very good cause. This new conservation park will undoubtedly bring...
We know what old Joe Conlon wants this land for, and it sure as sin ain't for no state park.
Tim's telling you the truth, boys. We like you. But I'm afraid you're getting roped in on something that's got more twists and turns than you first supposed.
That's Danny Redmond, my attorney. I called him while you were washing up. Danny has all the details. He'll fill you in right quick.
I know this isn't what you guys want to hear, but Timothy's absolutely correct. And whoever told you different is misinformed. So me and the Wade's been fighting this thing for over a year now. You see, Conlon Properties intends to construct 300-some-odd cracker box houses and condos on the land you guys have been defending.
No state park.
No state park.
What about this town, Madrid?
Shopping mall, stores, restaurants, triplex movie house, that sort of thing. This is big money. Listen, check it out for yourselves. Take a peek at a company named Half Moon Enterprises out of Dallas. It's a front organization for the entire project. The corporate president's name is Conlon, Helena Conlon.
Don't you boys think it's about time you told me what happened down there in Madrid?
You first, Brother Wolf?
Well, it all happened a few years after Grail gave up his outlaw ways and decided to become a lawman. Seems there's one Jeb Wade, sheriff of Madrid County, who by all accounts was stealing the citizens of said county blind.
Grail was sent in to find out the truth and repair the damages. However, the only problem with it was Jeb was an old friend of Grail's, and he was an outlaw as well. In many ways, they're a lot alike. Grail and one Joseph Conlon, for instance.
Anyway, Grail goes in, true to form, finds out the whys and the wherefores of what's going on. And it's true. Every single charge. Jeb Wade is being swallowed by his own power, right down Lucifer's gullet.
Grail had to stop him.
So they drew down on each other. Middle of Main Street, high noon. Grail was faster.
Yep. Grail was faster.
And as fate would have it, that old man that lives down there nowadays happens to be Jeb Wade's one and only child.
Hoo-wee. Ain't that a sharp stick in the eye?
Half Moon Enterprises. Now, that's what that Redmond fella said. He said, you check on that, you're going to find proof of what he's been saying. We have been used, John. You, me, Bill.
Harlan, would you consider the source of this information for a minute? Would you mind doing that for me, please?
I have
Just check the source.
That is why I am here. Timothy Wade and his wife, they're like us. They're our kind of people.
Yes.
Now, I admit that this Redmond fella, their attorney, now he's city bred, but he doesn't have...
That's right. He's Timothy Wade's attorney. Don't you see that? It's in his best interest to make Conlon Properties the villain. And you fell for it. Harlan, them lawyer fellas are like that. I've been here in Dallas long enough to learn that, I can tell you.
Well, if you don't accept my judgment on these folks, John, then I don't...
It's not that, Harlan. It's just you believe what people tell you too easy sometimes. You got a big heart.
That's right. And I remember who it was told me how to use it. Look into a man's eyes, you said. Feel his hand shake. You'll know what's true, Harlan. You'll know. Well, that's what I did. Timothy Wade, his wife, and Redmond are telling the truth, and all this is a lie. A lie that you're believing, John. You.
Is that right? That's the way you see it, is it?
Yeah. That is the way I see it. And the boys, too. You're hooked on all this. You don't want to look at it too close for fear you see it clear, then you have to give it up, wouldn't you?
You know, it's just occurring to me that you and the boys are the ones with vision troubles.
Is that a fact?
That's a fact, isn't it? Maybe you're the one who'd like to be up here instead of out there. A little bit of what they might call envy, Harlan?
Well, I can speak for the others, John, when I can say we won't be working on this particular job any longer. We will be helping the Wades, though. And if you get a chance to check on what we've been saying here, then you'll know where to find us. In Madrid. Outlaws will be back in a moment.
Howdy. Name's William Pike. Friends call me Billy.
Yeah, I think I met your brother. Name's Redmond. Danny Redmond.
Oh, sure, yeah, you're the attorney fella. Hey, this here's Dan Redmond. Dan is Wolfson Lucas.
How you doing, Mr. Redmond?
Yeah, right. What is this thing, anyway? It looks like a portable roadblock from the Dark Ages.
Yeah, I say, it worked. Smoother than silk, sweeter than honey.
Good. Now, if it ain't Dan Redmond, I'll be with you in a minute. I got a little work here to do. Bill, just go and give me a hand.
Wolfson?
What is all of this? What's happening? Rather, what's happened?
Well, we resigned our position with Conlon Properties and joined the right side.
What are you expecting, a war?
Man has to be prepared for battle even if it doesn't come. And I'm afraid there's a very good chance, Mr. Redmond, of this particular battle occurring, and I do mean soon.
Conlon is a businessman. Now, he's not going to risk everything by physically attacking this town. What? Does that sound naive or something? He's got the police.
Mr. Redmond, the police will only arrive after the fact. Now, all it would take to remove the obstacles blocking Conlon is one quick raid. And they're gone. Now, we're here to prevent that from happening.
Could you use a hand? Do me a favor, call me Danny.
Glad to have you with us, Danny.
Elaine, I'll be with you in a moment. The Ashlands will understand.
I don't give a damn about the Ashlands, Joe. It's Grail. It seems he's been a busy boy all afternoon, investigating us, asking questions about Half Moon Enterprises. He got the address from payroll, told him he was tracing a lost check.
Oh, great. That's all we needed.
I just tried talking to him in the hallway. He wouldn't even slow down to listen. He didn't look at me, didn't speak to me. He just walked right out of here with his ethical jaw marching half-mile ahead of him. And I know exactly where he's going.
Security, this is Mr. Conlon. Have 2 men meet me right away at the Half Moon offices.
Half Moon Ridge. It's the water tank on Half Moon Ridge. Down to Willow Hollow. It's the dusty road, isn't it? Madrid, Texas.
First off, why don't you 2 fellas wait outside?
I was going to tell you about this, John. fill you in on the whole Half Moon project.
You said you were my friend.
And I am.
You're a two-bit, four-flushing liar. You know what really disappoints me? You're a fool. You think I stand by and allow this? You think anybody can own me so easily? Did ya?
One way or the other, Conlon Properties is going to get Madrid. I told him it was a mistake to trust your brain. You're not the type to do the smart thing. Ever.
Listen to me, John, please. Think straight on this. We talked about it the other day. The power. What you, John, can make happen. This project is just a stepping stone to much bigger things. And money, like you've only dreamed of for you and the others. I mean, what do the Wades really mean to me? Or to you, for that matter? It's our people that are important. Please, we can work together on this.
You know what amazes me? I feel sorry for you, Joe. You had all the power, and you just don't understand what to do with it. Do you?
Where are you going?
I'm going back to Madrid, Texas. I'm going back to what I am. I'm going back to the people I belong with. To the people who mean nothing to you.
Grail! You could have had it all. Everything. You still can.
It ain't worth the price, lady. Not now or ever.
We've got to stop him before he can join the others. We've got to stop using diplomacy and start using muscle.
No. He was very close to seeing things my way. And then this had to happen. He'll come around. He'll realize what's good for him.
Why? Because you did? I told you before, Grail isn't like you.
I'll find him. I'll talk to him. I'll convince him to listen to reason.
If we wait, we'll lose everything.
Give it up, Jeb. Step away from it.
Can't be done, John. The cream's too rich, too tasty. I got something now worth defending, and that's what I intend to do.
Know you, mister?
Not very talkative, are you?
My name's John Smith.
Mine's Wade. You a friend of Mr. Pike or some of the others? I mean, you kind of got that look about you.
Yes, sir, Mr. Wade. You could say that Mr. Smith is a friend of ours.
Mr. Pike, I discovered what you told me was the truth. I was wrong. So I come here as fast as I could to lend a hand if you'll have me.
Well, it's a pleasure for us to see you could make it. Welcome to Madrid, Mr. Smith.
Hey, Billy. Hey, Wilson.
When you called and said come alone, I thought you was trying to con me. So I brought the guys. Sorry.
No problem. I brought my guys, too.
You should have brought a few more, Mrs. Conlon.
I think these gentlemen will be more than enough. Don't you?
What do you want?
Then what did you call them? Cowboy rent-a-cops? This is your chance to pay them back. You'll create the diversion while my friends here, Ham and McDonald, take care of the heavy stuff. Do we have a deal?
Be a pleasure, ma'am.
Morning, Sheriff.
What?
That's what you look like, Sonny. An old-time sheriff with a long night's patrol behind you and looking forward to a nice hot cup of java.
I could use the hot coffee, that's for certain.
The little woman's making a pot now and some breakfast.
Something troubling you, Tim?
I saw my pappy killed here in a legendary shootout with a man named Grail. I was just a shaver, but somehow you boys have brought the whole thing back to life again. I can almost hear the sound of gunfire, and it's getting closer.
Draw, Grail.
Elizabeth thinks we should just take Conlon's offer and get on out of here, and I kind of feel the same way myself sometimes. But then
you lose the feeling? I know. You'd like to take the easy way, but then if you plant your feet and go for the harder thing, it means something, don't it?
That's exactly it. Kind of old-fashioned, right?
Right.
I never was any good at being modern. Got my own way of looking at things, and the Lord knows it's almost always out of step with the times. I was in the Army. Well, a long time ago. And I left home and saw a lot of the world, but I came back here because there's something magical about this place to me. And the magic started on the day my daddy went down in the history books. Yep, that gunfight was the last real, honest-to-God showdown in the West. And that means something. And this town means something, because it's history. I guess I'm history. I haven't got much longer. Then where'll it all go? What will happen to the magic? No, John. I gotta hang on as long as I can. Fight 'em till... Fight 'em all the way.
Come on, let's get some of that breakfast into us, Timothy. I'll talk to Elizabeth. Ease her mind some.
Hey, Sheriff! We got company!
I've been better.
Wilson, Harlan, cover me!
All right. Go!
You ain't the safest place in the world, mister. Come on!
Looks like we're making history again.
Dixon, stay back! Stay back! Stay down! Damn it. Come on, man! You're just one cowboy! Come on, man! You want a showdown?
No, Billy. Wilson, Harlan.
My place.
Damn you, Grail.
The human heart is truly a strange thing, isn't it?
It is, Joe. It is, truly.
I understand everything that Elena did, and yet I know that if she wants it, then I'll be waiting. We had something good.
You'll be there again when you need it, Joe.
I feel free again, full of bright possibilities, stripped of the past.
Oh? Well, then, welcome. Because I know exactly what you're talking about. Ms. Wade, thank you.
Nonsense. We should be thanking you, all of you.
That's the Lord's honest truth. You boys brought it all back for me. You made my dream a real doggone thing. In no time at all, old Madrid, Texas will be bursting at seams with tourists. Isn't that right, Liz?
Full of life again. The sound of people, children. Oh.
God bless you, ma'am. Tim.
You ought to see yourself, Sheriff. Full to the brim with do-gooding.
Hey, like a preacher to wedding. This here bell reminds me when Daddy tried to play Santa Claus.
Oh, don't let him get to you, John.
Isaiah, these fellas couldn't get to me if they tried on purpose for a week.
It's a fine bunch of boys. I'm gonna miss that Jonathan Grail.
Did you say Jonathan Grail?
Yes, sir.
stay tuned as Linda Lavin stars in an unforgettable story of love, courage, and determination, A Place to Call Home. Tomorrow on CBS Sports, the 37th annual NBA All-Star Game.